What's up everybody and welcome to another very controversial video, and this time as you can see in my new apartment. As it turns out, many people are quite sensitive when it comes to their favorite cameras. On my last video I tested some things on the Nikon Z6 and the results didn't meet my expectations. And that somehow upset some people that watched the video. And yes, admittedly I didn't expect to get more than 20 views, so I didn't see a reason to make a very clear and thorough video. So first things first, the disclaimer. I'm making these videos here just for fun, and I don't intend to sway anyone's opinion when it comes to the Nikon Z6. I'm testing some specific things of this camera for myself, and I'm sharing the findings for anyone who might be interested in those specific aspects of the camera. I'm also not a professional reviewer, so that means that my methodology will probably be off. I'll gladly take tips on what to do differently or possible explanations on why my results are the way they are. One thing that a few people pointed out was that it's not fair comparing the 10.3 megapixels of the Nikon Z6 when using the DX format to the 24 megapixels of the Nikon D7100. And while I do agree that it's obviously not fair, I wanted to test that specific aspect of this camera. Because when I was in Malaysia back in 2016, I think, I took some wildlife photography during bad lighting conditions, and I wanted to see if using the newer camera with the newer sensor, I could get better pictures at higher ISOs while not losing the zoom range that I get from using a cropped factor camera. And if it weren't for the weird color noise that I get using the Nikon Z6, the photos would be clearly better than those of the D7100. Remember, what I'm doing is a very specific test for something that usually won't have an effect on real-life photography. The quality of the Nikon Z6 is awesome, to say the least. I used it on my sister-in-law's wedding 2 weeks ago, and the photos turned out beautifully. I won't show the pictures here because I didn't ask anyone for permission, but suffice to say that I don't have any complaints about them. And even the IAF performed exceptionally well. Of course, the Nikon's IAF is not as good as the Sony's, but it still did its job very well and it almost never missed. But going back to the video I did last time, I wanted to confirm to myself that the Nikon Z6, being a newer camera with a full-frame sensor, performs better at higher ISOs compared to the D7100. And this is what I expected, at least. That's why I was a bit disappointed with the results, and hence my title was the way it was. And I wondered why that was the reason, because this camera should be better than the other one for sure. And there was some constructive criticism in my last video that mentioned two possible reasons for the results that I got. One would be that I'm not using the best software to read Nikon's RAW files. That's why someone suggested to use Nikon's NXT, and here you can compare the two same pictures, one process with NXT and one process with Lightroom. Yes, it's true, the picture process with NXT does indeed have less color noise, but on the other hand it loses sharpness compared to the Lightroom picture. And something else that seemed quite weird to me, the NXT software changed the white balance of the photo automatically. But here, at least when you see them side by side, ignoring the white balance, you can see that the NXT one has less color noise, but it also is less sharp, especially when you would try to read the text. The other criticism was that using the DX mode on my Nikon Z6 instead of the full sensor, I would only get a readout of about 10 megapixels of the whole frame. And that is way less than the 24 megapixels of the Nikon D7100. And that to me made complete sense, so I thought to myself, of course, how didn't I think about that? That must be the reason. So this time I took some photos using the full sensor at the same high ISO as with the other photos, which is 6400 in a very dark room. And the results that I got are pretty much the same. Do get a lot of color noise, especially when processing the photos with Lightroom. And the same thing when processing them on NXT, I do get less color noise, but also less sharpness. That means that even using the full sensor, I get the same problems that I did using the cropped sensor. So what are my conclusions? One conclusion is that next time I will have to think ahead when titling my video on YouTube. And regarding the picture quality of the Nikon Z6 is awesome, don't misunderstand me. But it does seem to have problems when shooting in darker environments using higher ISO values. It might be a purely software related problem, or it might be a hardware problem, I don't know. Maybe you know, maybe you've experienced this, maybe you can tell me how to fix it. and it won't have a big impact on most of the photography that I or anyone takes. And if you ignore the color noise of the Nikon Z6 footage, it's still a way better picture than the Nikon D7100. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. Next time I will upload the less technical video for sure. Also, as always, thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.